Hey, thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch and on Facebook Live for a detailed look at your Colorado weekend weather forecast and also into next week as well. And long story short, we're looking at much calmer weather overall compared to what we saw yesterday and the day before. We had those clouds, some of those showers, much cooler temperatures, and those temperatures kind of go back to where they should be for this time of year, and then they go a bit above average for this time of year. So let's get into some of those details. Start things out with what we're looking at right now here in Denver, which is a lot of cloud cover for us, still kind of hanging around. Mostly cloudy skies here in the Mile High City, but those should brighten up a little bit as we head over the next few hours and later on through the afternoon. That'll be thanks to mostly in part a ridge of high pressure gradually building on in from the south and west. Still have this kind of pesky upper level low to our southeast. That'll lead to some isolated showers mainly south of Denver, but that'll also give way to that area high pressure that I mentioned, and that'll warm things up for the weekend and especially into next week. Oh boy, wait till you see what I've got in store for next week. Some very, very nice weather just around the corner. Meantime, it's a little bit on the chilly side for us, especially as you get up in elevation. And right now in Denver, right at 60 degrees, that's a little bit below where we should be for this time of year. We'll probably top out in the upper 60s. That'll put us about 5 degrees shy of our average high for this time of year. So again, those highs for today, 40s, 50s, generally speaking in the mountains, 60s and 70s on the eastern plains, as well as through the western slope. Grand Junction probably topping out at just 69, but then you get into the eastern plains, again, 50s, 60s, depending on exactly where you are. In the mountains, more like the 40s and 50s, with a bit more cloud cover as you get into the mountains. Now, one thing to take away, today, 129 years ago, marked Denver's latest 90-degree day on record. So you got to go all the way back to 1892 for the latest 90-degree reading on record in Denver. So long story short, with no 90-degree days or anything close to it on the horizon, we are probably done with 90-degree heat until next summer, until next May or June. So hey, something if you're a hot weather disliker, something to perhaps celebrate. I know a lot of us have been getting impatient with our very hot September, and also, by the way, our very, very just kind of persistently hot September as well, and a very hot summer overall. All right, let's get into that satellite and radar. We do have a few showers off to our south and our west. Again, that upper level low spinning down to New Mexico and through the panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma. That is spinning up some moisture, but again, areas south of town will have a better chance at seeing some of that wet and perhaps even snowy weather as you get up in elevation. I just saw a friend of mine just send in a little while ago on my social media that it is snowing up by Guanella Pass and in Geneva Peak. So Joel Hansen sending in that. So appreciate some of those shots coming in. But again, seeing some of that rain and snow in some of those higher elevations. Meantime, southeastern Colorado seeing some of that wet weather as we head through tonight. But most of the action stays off to our south and our east. And we'll see a little bit more rain for your Saturday and your Sunday. I'll show you that in just a second. But we certainly are starting to get to the point where we really need it, especially into eastern Colorado, where it's just been a very dry last 4 or 5 months or so. And it's almost impossible to consider the Denver back into drought conditions, considering just how wet of a spring we had. But Denver, for the first time in a little over 6 months, back in drought conditions as of yesterday. Western Colorado seeing some dry conditions out there as well, but that's a bit more of that longer term drought, and we did see some improvement out there thanks to a very active monsoon season. Tonight, temperatures drop back into the upper 40s. Isolated shower, again, best chance will be south and west of Denver. 10,000 feet or above, we're talking about some wet snow. No significant accumulations at 10,000 feet or above unless you're hanging out at 14,000 feet, 14,000 feet. But yeah, today might not be the best day to do a 14er. 14er season might be over and done with for those of you hiking extraordinaires. Now, for tomorrow, it does warm on up a little bit, especially in the mountains. A bit more sunshine in the morning should help us get those temperatures into the 50s and 60s. Nice, kind of cozy fall weather for some of that leaf peeping up there into the mountains. Meantime, the eastern plains, 60s and 70s will do it for most of us. 74 for us in Grand Junction as well. Now, for tomorrow, the bulk of our area low pressure heads off to our east, but still a little leftover moisture in action behind it, and that'll lead to some showers once again for us south of Denver, primarily Colorado Springs, the Palmer Divide, and once you get to kind of Salida, Aspen on south, kind of South Highway 50 there, that's where you have a better chance at seeing a shower and a very high elevation snow shower as well. But the big story as we get through the weekend and to early next week, area high pressure really starts to build on in, and that'll allow for much warmer and much overall drier conditions to get into place for us as we get into the back half of the weekend and early next week. Average high for this time of year, we're typically right around 71, 72 degrees for the weekend, for the first weekend of October. So we'll be right around there for your Saturday, but then by your Sunday, but especially in your Monday and your Tuesday, we really get those temperatures close to 80 degrees, and that's running about 5 to 10 degrees above average for this time of year, and it'll stay that way through the remainder of the upcoming week. So very calm, but I would say very nice weather pattern in store, right? I mean, we're talking about temperatures at night that'll be kind of hoodie, coolish with those upper 40s, low 50s at night. You can leave those windows open. Again, feeling a bit like fall at night, but then during the day, it'll be, I wouldn't say quite short. Yeah, you know what? That's shorts weather, at least to me, right? T-shirt, shorts weather, mid to upper 70s. Yeah, that's definitely T-shirt and shorts weather. So certainly looking forward to that. I imagine a lot of you are looking forward to those warmer conditions next week. But also, again, if you want a little bit of that fall-like feel, you'll get it at night. During the day, you'll be talking about those temperatures that'll be on the nice and warm side. Seeing a couple of comments writing on in from Amos and Einar, so saying hello to both of them, and appreciate you all for joining us here on 9 News Watch for a detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast. Have a great rest of your weekend. Get some of that leaf peeping in, because by next week we're going to go probably past peak in a lot of areas, especially from I-70 on north. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi.